I was like, Amy, why don't we put this money to work for us? Let it start working. I wasn't listening to podcasts back then, where people talked about it. I was like, let's make it work for us.
How did you, what drew you to getting a rental? Like, why that asset?
Dog shit.
Elaborate.
My parents had 2 rentals when I was growing up. They just kind of stumbled onto them, circumstances. And one of them, I was 17. People had been in it a long time, number of years. They moved out, and they didn't let their German Shepherds out very often. So wood floors, dog shit, 17-year-old son, go clean it.
Oh, you meant actual dog shit.
Yes, literal dog shit.
You said dog shit, and I was like, maybe you just got bullshitted by somebody, but you meant
Literal
dog shit.
Yep.
Wow.
So I'm 17. I'm spending this time bleaching the floors, doing all this stuff. And my parents aren't happy about it. I mean, there's no doubt about that, but they're not pissed. And I was like, why are y'all not more upset about this? I mean, they wrecked this house. This used to be our house. And like, well, we're not happy about it by any means, but they already paid off the mortgage. Wait, what? So this is like free money from now on? My parents don't remember this conversation. I remember it plain as day. And they're like, well, not really, but I mean, kind of. And that just put the seed in my mind. So that first rental that we had to put 20% down. We had saved. We had money sitting in a savings account earning 1% or less. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was like, Amy, why don't we put this money to work for us? Let it start working. I wasn't listening to podcasts back then, where people talked about it. I was like, let's make it work for us. Well, her dad had a bad real estate investing situation back in the early 80s with some stuff that went bad, and somebody, I think, went to prison for fraud. I mean, it was a bad situation.
Well, in the 80s was a hard time.
Yeah. So she always grew up that, no, real estate's not, no, it's too risky. And had some convincing to do for it, but was able to convince her. And then that first rental, since I didn't buy it right, I didn't invest in it right. It was kind of hard, but we had that first flip, and that really helped. And then we sold that rental. It had appreciated from $100,000 to $120,000.
Mm-hmm.
So we had some money to come out there, and it was like, oh, okay, this really can work.